The Golden Key, the allegory for the end of the dream. The tale begins in a place that was never a place at all, an open field without borders, without fences, without the faintest outline of a door to escape from. And in this field stood a child who carried nothing but a tiny key made of light, a key so simple that it was almost overlooked, a key that did not shine on the world but shone from within the mind that held it. Everyone around the child insisted that the key was meant to unlock problems, fix situations, and solve what seemed broken. But the child sensed the deeper truth. The key did not open anything because there were no locks. Every problem that appeared in the distance flickered like heat on a road, vanishing the moment the child stopped staring at it, revealing that the problem never had substance, only attention. When the child lifted the key, doors dissolved before they could be touched, walls evaporated before they could be approached, and the very idea of obstacles melted as if embarrassed to have ever pretended to be real. The grown-ups whispered that the secret was to think about God instead of thinking about the difficulty. But even that was too small, because thinking about God still imagined two minds separated by a gap that did not exist. The key revealed something bolder, something quieter, something that cannot be misunderstood once seen. The child was not meant to think about God. The child was meant to think God. Not as an act of worship, not as ritual, not as positive affirmation, but as returning to the only mind that ever truly was. The mind that never left. The mind that never fragmented into private thoughts and personal interpretations. For when the child thought God, the world could not hold its shape, because the world is built from the belief in private thought, and once that belief dissolves, the world collapses like mist under sunlight. In the story, the villagers panicked, believing the child had some dangerous power, unaware that nothing was being changed but the thinker. And when the thinker changes teachers, the entire dream must follow. Fear rose like thunderclouds, but fear had no place to cling because the child's mind no longer echoed its vibration, no longer rehearsed its stories, no longer accepted its authority. The golden key did not grant dominion over problems. It exposed that the dreamer was the one who invented them through a split mind trying to think alone. And once the child stopped thinking alone, every shadow collapsed, every grievance thinned out, every illusion softened into transparency, leaving only a field that stretched forever, untouched by fear. The open field became the symbol of a mind with no partitions, no compartments, no secret corners where the ego could hide its doubts and nurse its idols. In this field, the child learned the final simplicity, that thinking God is not adding light to darkness, but withdrawing belief from darkness so fully that only light remains. No effort was required, no technique, no force, no spiritual performance, only the quiet pivot from independent thought to shared mind, from the ego's monologue to the stillness that answers everything without saying a word. And so the story ends not with a triumph, not with a victory, not with a miracle in form, but with a recognition so gentle it almost goes unnoticed. The golden key was never an object but a decision, a choice to stop thinking alone, a choice to stop reinforcing what was never there, a choice to think God. And in that choice the field opens, the dream thins, and the mind awakens to the truth that was waiting in silence all along. Picture, if you will, a child standing in an open field holding a key that opens nothing at all. A key that does not turn in locks because the only locks that ever existed lived in a mind convinced it could think apart from the source that made it. In a world where problems parade as facts and fears masquerade as inevitabilities, this child discovered an unsettling truth, that the moment a mind stops thinking alone, the world it feared begins to evaporate like breath on a mirror. Witness now a landscape without fences, without walls, without private corners where illusions gather dust. For when the thinker shifts teachers, the dream must shift with it, and the shadows that once loomed large lose their footing against a light they cannot oppose. Tonight's tale is not about magic keys or supernatural forces. It is about a single, simple, seismic decision: to withdraw allegiance from the thoughts that bind, and to think God, quietly, steadily, unmistakably. And when a mind thinks God, every door it once rattled, every barrier it once feared, every problem it once nursed, fades into the thin air from which it came. The golden key was never a tool. It was a reminder that the moment the mind stops thinking alone, the dream of separation ends, not with fireworks, but with a sigh. And so the child walks forward into the open field, carrying nothing but a willingness to remember the only mind there is. A willingness that needs no reward, no evidence, no miracle in form. Only the quiet certainty that nothing real can be threatened and nothing unreal exists. For the dream has run out of locks and the field has always been open. You have just stepped across the threshold of a place that cannot be found on any map, drawn on any blueprint, or held by any wall. A place that answers to no world but the one within. The open field, where the golden key reveals that the door was never locked, and the dreamer was never truly dreaming alone.